Good to see you. Thank you guys for working the booth.
I think we've done a good job of getting the state back on the right track. We got job growth taking place. We've repaired capers in the state. We've got people moving into Kansas. We've got things moving in the right direction. And we are asking the public for 4 more years to be able to accelerate the job growth, to finish the task on getting capers back in a solid footing, to continue our funding for education and improvement on our education scores, to help in dealing with poverty in the state of Kansas. And you'll have a clear choice this fall between basically a Reagan Republican and an Obama Democrat and Paul Davis. And we've worked to make the Kansas comeback and get things moving in the right direction, and that's happening. So we're asking for that additional 4 years to move the state on forward.
So why do you keep saying an Obama Democrat?
Well, Paul Davis was a 2-time Obama delegate, the lieutenant governor candidate. She was the co-chair for Obama. They clearly support President Obama. When President Obama is giving his speeches at the Democrat National Convention, Paul Davis is on the floor standing up and cheering. That's the direction he believes in. It's a high-tax, big government model. That's his choice. I just don't think it's the choice of the people of Kansas.
Governor, I got to ask, have you guys repaid Jeff Collier's latest loan yet? Jeff has made that loan into the campaign, and nothing further's happened on that. I don't think people take it seriously enough. And I know people can look at it and say, well, I don't know that my vote matters, but it turns out one vote does matter in a lot of cases. And if everybody looks at it that way, then you don't get much participation. And this is how free men and women govern themselves, is by elections. And by people standing up and asking for your vote. And here's a series of policies that I believe in, and I want to urge you to choose this. So I really want to urge people to get out and vote and to exercise that right and duty to participate in a democracy. I just think this is so precious, and maybe because I've seen it in other places around the world where people don't have that right. And it's really an important one to exercise, and I hope people will get out and exercise it. And in the U.S. Senate race, you voted for Pat Roberts, I'm assuming?
I endorsed Pat, and I've supported Pat.
Do you have any concerns? I mean, hardly a random sampling, but I'm running into quite a few Wolf voters this morning. You concerned about him pulling that out?
You know, it's a participation process. I'm glad people are participating in it. It makes us, I think, better when you have that competition. I'm a believer in competition, and that pushes people on forward. So I'm glad people are participating in the process, taking it seriously, giving voters a choice. We'll see how it comes out this evening.
On Sean's program yesterday, Robert said that he believes that he's the only Republican candidate who can win in November. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I think Pat's a proven vote getter in the state of Kansas. Has been, represents the state well, has done a good job of that, is the author of a number of farm bills, which is an important piece of legislation for the state of Kansas, and has been and continues to be, is the author of really the NBAF facility in Kansas. He started that when he was on the Intelligence Committee. So here's somebody that's really has a proven track record of some important things to the state of Kansas and done a good job, can win, and I think clearly will win in the fall.
Back to the governor's race, you're getting a lot, this race specifically is getting a lot of national attention, obviously, from national talk shows and on radio and television. Did you ever expect that your race here in Kansas would be getting so much attention?
No, I didn't. But I think what's taking place is people are saying you got a blue state model. President Obama showcases that too. It's a high tax, big government model, and we're saying we want to go a different direction. We want to get our taxes down and have growth, because growth is the key piece of all of this. Economic growth, so you have a healthy economy, and that's what's being challenged nationally. The liberal movement doesn't believe in a lower tax model. They think you need a higher tax model. It's what Paul Davis supports. And so the left is pushing back even globally against this. And, nationally, then you have the conservative movement saying, no, this is the way you should go. It's growth. Growth is the key piece of it. And that's what the president has not done. We are not growing out of this recession the way we should be. And he didn't focus on that when he came into office. Instead, he focused on taking over health care. You should have focused on getting your economy growing. And then once you get that growing, you can talk about what other things you're looking at that you're interested in, but you gotta get things growing. And I think that's the real issue here is do you want the Obama model that's a very slow growth, high tax model, but it's one that the left believes in. And that's why I think they really challenge Kansas.